Most videos about moving to South Florida look like a tourism ad. Beautiful beaches, perfect weather, no state income tax, and of course the palm trees are everywhere. And look, all of that is true, but after years of helping buyers relocate here from New York, California, Chicago, and pretty much all over the world, I can tell you that there are things that catch almost everyone off guard. And today, I'm gonna give you 7 of them so you can go into this move with your eyes wide open. Hi, I'm Vitaliy. I'm a licensed realtor in South Florida, and I've been in this market since 2019. Let's get into it. This is the one that catches people the hardest. When buyers from out of state run their mortgage calculations, they typically budget for principal, interest, and taxes, and they completely forget about insurance. In Florida, homeowners insurance is pretty expensive, and it has gotten significantly more expensive over the last couple of years as major insurers pulled out of the state and the remaining ones have raised rates dramatically. And depending on your home's location, age, and construction type, you could be looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 or more per year just for homeowners insurance. And on top of that, if your home is in a flood zone, which many South Florida properties are, you may need a separate flood insurance policy on top of that. I've worked with buyers who budgeted carefully for, say, a $500,000 home and were genuinely stunned when they saw the full insurance picture. Of course, this doesn't mean don't buy here, it simply means budget for it correctly from day one. When I work with buyers, we typically talk about insurance early before they fall in love with a property because I'd rather have that conversation up front than after the fact. If you're moving to South Florida from a state where HOAs are optional or uncommon, this is going to be a bit of an adjustment. In most South Florida communities, especially in BOCA Raton, Weston, Coral Springs, Parkland, and similar cities nearby, nearly every neighborhood has a homeowners association. That typically means monthly or quarterly HOA fees and rules about what you can and cannot do with your property. Approval processes for renovation, sometimes restrictions on parking, landscaping, rentals, even the color of your front door. HOA's fees range from a couple of $100s a month all the way to over $1,000 per month and more in some high amenity condo buildings. The trade-off is real. HOAs, on one hand, keep communities looking sharp, maintain common areas, and often include amenities like pools, fitness centers, and tennis courts. But you need to read the HOA documents before you buy. Every single one of my buyers goes through them with me. The rules vary dramatically from one community to the next, and some of them may surprise you. People say South Florida like it's one place, and it's not. South Florida is made up of 3 distinct counties: Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. They are genuinely different from each other in terms of vibe, lifestyle, price, traffic, and culture. I would say Miami-Dade is the most urban, the most international, the most intense. The energy is pretty high, and so are the prices and the traffic, by the way. Broward County, which includes cities like Fort Lauderdale, Weston, Coral Springs, Pembroke Pines, is more suburban. It's a little more relaxed than Miami, but still South Florida, but just a different pace. Palm Beach County, on the other hand, and cities like Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Wellington, Lake Worth, Boynton Beach skews more affluent and quieter. There's more space, more golf courses, and more of a leave the city behind kind of feeling. The mistake I see buyers make is treating all of South Florida as one decision. Where you work, where your family is, what lifestyle you want in general, what your budget is, all of that should determine which county and which city you're actually looking at. This is one of the first things I walk through with every buyer on our initial call. It makes a massive difference. Even now, South Florida is not a market where you can take your time. In desirable cities and price ranges, well-priced homes get multiple offers, sometimes within days or hours, and yes, even today. If you're relocating out of state and planning to come down for a weekend to look at homes, that plan certainly works, but only if you're already pre-approved already know what you want and are genuinely ready to make a decision soon. Buyers who show up unprepared typically lose homes to buyers who are ready today. But what does being ready even look like nowadays? Well, you have a pre-approval letter from a lender, not just a pre-qualification letter, an actual pre-approval. You know your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves, and you've done your research on the neighborhoods. And of course, you have an agent who knows the market and can move quickly with you. I've also helped buyers close on South Florida homes without ever visiting in person. Fully remote purchases with video walkthroughs, virtual tours, and digital closings. It absolutely works, but it requires being organized and being very decisive. People know South Florida is hot. What they underestimate is how hot and how humid it actually gets here. From June through September and sometimes even into October, South Florida weather is genuinely intense. We're talking daily highs in the low to mid 90s. Humidity that makes it feel a lot hotter, and afternoon thunderstorms almost daily. If you've never experienced the South Florida summer, it is quite of an adjustment. Most people adapt, however, but the first summer catches a lot of newcomers off guard. You are going to spend a lot more time indoors during those months. Your electricity bill is going to be higher than you expect, and outdoor activities like running, golf, and anything active outside really will need to happen early in the morning or after sundown. On the flip side, winters here are genuinely beautiful in the way that makes it all worth it. But go into it understanding that summer is the price you pay for those perfect January afternoons. Now, this one surprises a lot of people who visit in the summertime and assume that South Florida is always that relaxed. From about October through April, the snowbird population arrives. Snowbirds are essentially seasonal residents, mostly from the Northeast, Canada, and the Midwest, who spend their winter months in South Florida and then head back north when it gets warm. And they change everything. For one, restaurants get packed, roads get more congested, wait times at popular spots double, and real estate inventory tends to tighten because seasonal residents occupy their homes, and the overall pace of the city tends to shift. This isn't a complaint, it's just a reality of South Florida life. The region is genuinely more alive during season, more events, more energy, more activity. But if you're used to the quieter summer pace and you move here expecting that year-round, you'd be surprised when October hits. As a year-round resident myself, you'll learn to love it though. You learn which restaurants to avoid on Saturday nights in February and which local spots the snowbirds haven't discovered yet. It simply becomes a part of your rhythm. So I want to bring this home with a number that matters. When most people think about buying a home, they think about the mortgage payment. In South Florida, however, that's only part of the overall picture. Let's say you buy a $600,000 home in BOCA RATON. Your mortgage payment based on today's rates with 20% down might be around $3,000 to $3,500 a month. But then you start adding a couple of things. Property taxes, for instance. In Palm Beach County, they're roughly 1 to 2% of assessed value per year on a $600,000 home that's potentially $6,000 to $12,000 per year. And on top of that, homeowner's insurance, let's say $8,000 per year on the conservative side, and that's another $667 per month. Then we have HOA fees, let's say $400 per month for a standard community just to be safe. Flood insurance, if applicable, could be another $100 to $300 per month. And adding all of that up, your true monthly cost of ownership could be $4,500 to $5,500 per month or more, and not the $3,000 you initially relied on. This is not me trying to scare you away from South Florida. It's me giving you the real number so you can budget correctly and not get caught off guard after you close. The buyers who are happiest here are the ones who went in with realistic expectations, and that's exactly what I'm here for. Here's what I want you to take away from this. South Florida is genuinely one of the best places to live in the United States. The lifestyle, the weather, the access, the opportunity, it's all real. But it rewards people who do their homework. The buyers I've seen struggle here are the ones who made decisions based on a vacation or based on what they read online without talking to someone who actually knows this market. On the other hand, the buyers I've seen thrive are the ones who came in prepared, who knew the full cost picture, who understood the market, and who matched the right neighborhood to the right lifestyle. And that is exactly what I help people figure out. So if you're seriously thinking about making a move to South Florida, whether it's Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Weston, Aventura, or anywhere in between, I want to talk to you. I offer a free 30-minute Zoom consultation, no pressure, no sales pitch. We'll figure out together whether South Florida is the right move, and if it is, which part of it fits your life. The link to book that call is in the description below. As always, my name is Vitaliy and I'm a licensed realtor in South Florida since 2019. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful at all. Subscribe if you haven't already for more honest South Florida content. And I'll see you in the next one.